Hi everybody, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts, and this is a Q&A episode, so let's actually get started, shall we? So, first question is from Nicholas. So, hey Dino Chris, how is it going with you? I'm doing pretty good, thank you. Thanks for asking. I was wondering if it was possible for Mapusaurus to be as large as Giganotosaurus or larger than Giganotosaurus, because I have read several articles about this on the internet, and I was wondering if it was possible for Mapusaurus being as big or bigger than Giganotosaurus. This is a good question, Nicholas. When Mapusaurus was discovered, they actually believed that Mapusaurus was larger than Giganotosaurus. But the thing is that there was not too much of fossil remains that were fossils for Mapusaurus. So, I mean, where the fossils have been found, they have found multiple species or multiple specimens in different ages, and so the adult specimen was not fully complete, and so they actually had to guess what the size was for Mapusaurus. From what it looks like, Mapusaurus is not bigger than Giganotosaurus. I think like over 20 years ago, it was considered to be one of the larger theropod dinosaurs, but how it's been looked at now is that Mapusaurus is a bit smaller than Giganotosaurus. T-Rex would actually be a little bit bigger than Mapusaurus as well. And so I probably would say that it's small. It's a bit smaller than Giganotosaurus. Could it actually get as big as Giganotosaurus? Absolutely. I think there is a possibility that there might have been a Mapusaurus that lived during its time was as big as Giganotosaurus. But right now, what the fossil evidence says is that it is not bigger than Giganotosaurus. All right, Luke Zilla, what is your opinion on cryptid dinosaurs? And so I think what you're referring to is like this movie this kind of like indie horror film that is actually out there called Cryptid. I have not seen it, and so I don't plan on seeing it. It's just too outside of my realm to watch. But in terms of say cryptozoology type of dinosaurs, like Mekele-mbembe, and then like Beast and like in northern Canada or Alaska, is that I probably would say is that like how I feel about them is that they're more likely mistaken identity, and so maybe with that Beast that is from northern Canada or otherwise in Alaska, what probably was that they were hearing these really loud growling sounds, probably from polar bears. They're probably hearing polar bears growling around that kind of time, and so that probably makes a lot more sense about that. And as for the Mekele-mbembe sightings, I think those were also mistaken identity. I think they're probably because I think what most accounts have actually happened is that most of the accounts were happening at dusk and at night. And so when you're around dawn and dusk at night, or dawn or dusk and at night, you can't see anything very well, and so all you can see is kind of maybe a little bit of a silhouette type of shape of what you can make out of. And so I think what these people are probably seeing is probably forest elephants in the water, and even certain types of crocodiles, and even trees that are coming out of the water, or tree branches and certain types of trees that were in the water having their branches sticking out, believing that those are the spikes of Mekele-mbembe, this sauropod that is supposedly out there. But right now, what the evidence suggests is that it's not possible that a dinosaur actually exists in Africa and the Congo right now, because I think what this is mistaken identity, even though it could be from maybe telling maybe stories that were told throughout generations of they believe that there's this huge honking monstrous animal that lived in the water in the Congo River and all that. And so yeah, I don't really pay attention to those too much. So I probably would say it's majority of them are mistaken identity. Because because we're on that kind of time. But basically, for those types of people, they didn't really have the advancements of technology that we have right now, and so they probably had to kind of pretty much guess what these animals really were. And so, yeah, that's probably what I think about those. All right, your second question is, if you could have a dinosaur or any prehistoric creature as a pet, what would it be? I think I will have a small one like Velociraptor, for example. I mean, it's not too bad. For dinosaurs, I probably would say, yeah, I'd probably get a small dinosaur. Like say for carnivorous dinosaurs, I'd probably go like Compsognathus, or otherwise maybe Coelophysis. Those would probably be the ones that I would go with. For like herbivorous dinosaurs, I probably would say maybe Dryosaurus, or maybe Leptoceratops or Protoceratops. Those would actually be my choices for smaller dinosaurs. But as for other types of prehistoric creatures, it's hard to say. Probably for a mammal, maybe Leptictidium. That would be a cool prehistoric animal to have. Reptiles, I wouldn't even dare. And so those would probably be the ones that will be harder to keep around. But that's a good question there, Luke. Appreciate that question. Yeah, because I know I get asked this question a few times about that, but that's a good question, Luke. All right, Alex, do you think there were iguanodonts that lived in the late Cretaceous that would still have the thumb spike? It's a possibility. But iguanodonts were starting to really were starting to disappear right around, say 90 between 90 and 85 million years ago, and so they started to disappear because they're kind of evolving into the hadrosaurs. Because if you actually look at where hadrosaurs kind of came from, hadrosaurs have an ancestor that was an iguanodont, and so that's actually an interesting thing to talk about there. But as for if there were iguanodonts that were still around in the late Cretaceous period, I mean, it's a possibility, but hadrosaurs were so common in that kind of time, and so I probably would say is that more likely you're probably going to find some maybe in the southern hemisphere in the late Cretaceous, but in the northern hemisphere it's basically just a lot of hadrosaurs. Hadrosaurs were everywhere, and so I'd probably say there's a possibility. Rare, but actually not too. But at least a good one. But at least not too bad. Not too bad of a chance. All right, Benjamin. Why does Nigersaurus have an odd skull? Well, when you look at Nigersaurus, it is such a strange sauropod because it's a smaller sauropod, and where it's found in the country of Niger and also in Nigeria, is that because how it's actually designed, it's designed almost like every other sauropod, long neck, long tail, 4 limbs, kind of a robust body. But when you look at the skull, it's actually pointing down, so the snout is facing downward. And when you look at CT scans of the brain case, suggests is that its brain is actually sit in a position where the head has to be pointing down, and so it's really, really funky to see to see this animal in artist renditions. When you see its head going like this, and also how it's designed is that it's basically just kind of almost like walking like a lawnmower, so to speak, because it's just basically nibbling all of the small plants that were around at that point in time. And so, it's a strange looking animal. There's no doubt about it. Is Parasaurolophus the most bizarre of all hadrosaurs? No, I don't think so. Because when you look at the crested hadrosaurs. I mean, they have really funky skulls. I don't think there's any question about that. I think the one that is so strange is Xingtaosaurus from China. Is when it was discovered, it looked like it just had like this huge honking horn on top of its head. But really, what it is that some bits of the crest were missing, and it was kind of nicknamed the unicorn dinosaur. But I probably would say is that one's a little bit more strange than Parasaurolophus, because Parasaurolophus, I still think Parasaurolophus is really, really cool. I don't think it's that bizarre as what you might think it is. Does Pachycephalosaurus have the thickest skull of all ornithopods? When you would look at the Pachycephalosaurus, they do have 10-inch thick skulls, so those are pretty thick, and yeah, they did have very thick skulls. And I'd probably say, yeah, they probably did have those thick skulls. Pretty well designed for pushing and shoving and some smackdowns, those types of things. Bumping into each other and what we saw in Prehistoric Planet Season 2. I mean, that's pretty much what they did, and the fossil evidence suggests that they did do this. And so, yeah, it's actually pretty cool to see that. In Prehistoric Planet Season 2. And who would win, Cycania or Euplocephalus? So these are both ankylosaurs, and they're both from different continents. I think they were kind of around at the same time. Cycania is from Asia, whereas Euplocephalus is from North America, mostly in Canada and in Montana type of regions. And so Euplocephalus is larger. Cycania does have more pointier spikes on its sides and shoulder pads, or on its shoulders and its back, excuse me. And so I'd probably say Euplocephalus would actually take this one, because Euplocephalus is larger and also it's got the higher amounts of force to use its tail, that club tail, and that club tail would do pretty good damage. And all Euplocephalus has to do is just hit somewhere in the legs of Cycania, and Cycania is not going to walk very efficiently. And so, yeah. And that's all for the questions for today. So next week will be a special episode. I'll let you guys know what kind of prehistoric animal I'm going to talk about. And so we'll see what kind of theme I'll do for July. I mean, it could be random. You never know. And so I'll let you guys know what kind of prehistoric animal I'm talking about for the special episode for next week. And you can still send me questions about dinosaurs and other prehistoric life by email me at dinochrist71@gmail.com, or just go to my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dinochrist. Like the page, you post your questions in the comment section. Please put them in the comment section. Don't put them on Messenger. Messengers are private conversations. So please put your questions in the comment section on the Facebook post. And for you YouTubers out there, according to my analytics, a lot of you guys that are checking out my channel and not subscribed yet. So please feel free to hit that like button, because that's what the YouTube algorithm is right now, is that the more likes, the better this video gets shared to a bunch of people that are interested in dinosaurs, paleontology, geology, and prehistoric life in general. And so hit that like button for this video and any other video that is out there on my channel, and also subscribe to my channel, and you can also hit that notification bell to let you know what to notify you of every weekly video that comes out. And so please hit that notification bell, and also share the videos to anybody that is interested in dinosaurs and prehistoric life. Feel free to do so. And for you YouTubers out there, feel free to leave your questions in the comment section, because I do read them all. Your questions do mean a lot in the Q&A episodes like this one. And so all of you that are sending me questions via email, Facebook, and YouTube, you guys are actually awesome. You're giving me some great questions to answer, and so keep up the great work. And this is actually really, really fun to do. And also make sure you keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Instagram at dino.crest.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSGRAL. That's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there as well. I'll also take care of the people around you, and also for you younger people out there, make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you could have for a good education. It's very important to have a good education. It's really good education. You get a good job in the future. And I know a lot of you are on summer vacation, and so have a good summer. And also learn a little bit of things too. Go to a museum, or find out someplace or otherwise find an event that you're willing to learn things about. Whatever subject that you're interested in. And side note here, is that in 2 weeks from today, 2 weeks, I actually start my summer library program at the Marathon County Library in Wausau, Wisconsin. And the first event, July 13th, I talk about prehistoric sharks. And so I'll be presenting, do a little presentation, have a PowerPoint type of presentation, have some slides and photos of some prehistoric sharks. You know, basically just artwork of prehistoric sharks. And also I have pretty cool information about prehistoric sharks, and of course I'll bring in some actual fossils and even replicas of shark teeth, and so you guys can check that out. And also, if you are in the Wausau, Wisconsin area, please feel free to come on down and check it out. Check out these summer events. So like July 13th, like I mentioned, is prehistoric sharks. July 25th is Jurassic Park, so we'll watch the movie first, and then afterward I'll talk a little bit about like the things that Jurassic Park does do right, and then the things that Jurassic Park is wrong about in terms of today's science. And so that'll be, and of course, and then August 22nd will be about Tyrannosaurus Rex. And so the July 13th event is from 1 to 2 p.m. Central Time. The 25th of July, that would, for Jurassic Park, that is 1 to 4 p.m. Central Time. And for the August 22nd event about T-Rex, it's 1 to 2 p.m. And so feel free to come on down and learn a little bit from learn some things from me. And of course, if you also come and say hi, because I would love to meet you guys that are in the Wausau, Wisconsin area. So feel free to come on down if you're in the area. All right, that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next week.